Hey, it's Carl from Art of Shred, and let me tell you something about the Positive Grid Spark Go. I really like it. I bought it during the pre-order for $109 and it arrived 2 days ago. It costs $129 right now, by the way. You want to hear about deals when I hear about them? Subscribe to the Rift City email. Anyway, I really didn't think I'd have enough time to review it, but you know what? Since I'm very familiar with the Spark line of products, this was actually really easy to review. First, it sounds good, really good, surprisingly good. Not as good as the Spark 40, but surprisingly good for such a small speaker. And it's loud. I even like the 4 presets that came preloaded on the amp, although I already replaced them with my own presets. Second, like with the other Spark amps, you have access to the Positive Grid tone cloud with tens of thousands of tone options, lots of different amps and effects. If you want to use my free tone cloud presets, I'll show you how to find them. There's a link in the description. Third, you can use it as a USB audio interface to record on your computer. It only comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable, so if you have a Mac or most modern computers, you're going to need a USB-C to USB-C cable. But this is great. I love recording demos on my Spark 40 amp. Spark Go, it's even more convenient. Does this replace a studio quality audio interface? No, of course not. But are you just having fun recording music like me, or are you trying to sell, stream, and tour with your music? The Spark amps, like the Spark Go, are for home practice and demo recording use. Maybe that's not for you, but it is for me. Finally, it works with the Spark Control foot switch, which I reviewed a few months ago. Link in description. So those are my favorite things about the Spark Go, and I think maybe the most important things. Let's stop all these video cuts and just talk about it, huh? Okay? Okay. All right, let's talk about the Spark Go. If you want to see the unboxing, I did do a short. I'll link it in the description. But it comes in this little box. The box has the marketing copy and everything. It claims an 8-hour battery life on the rechargeable battery. I haven't been able to test that, so I can't say for sure. As far as what comes in the box. So obviously you get the Spark amp, which very small, size of my hand, and it comes with 2 straps. That's the fake leather black and red one. That's the silicone plastic black one. Unnecessary for me, whatever. Obviously comes with the manual, quick start guide. You need the app, all right? Let me preface this. Well, it's a little too late for a preface, but a lot of people complain about the Sparks because they need the app to get the most use out of the amp. Well, I don't have a problem with that. If you do, hey, not for you. You can stop watching. USB-A to USB-C cable. And it comes with an extra grill. So these are easy to detach. Let me show you. So this is the black plastic one. This is kind of the cloth one. I prefer this one, but it doesn't matter. I don't care either way. It could have come with no extra lids, covers, and I'd be fine. You can also remove this outer plastic. I don't care to do that. As far as what I don't like about this amp, let's talk a little bit about that. This strap is useless. I guess you could put it around a belt if you have a very thin belt, but other than that, I don't see the point. So, whatever, and it comes with 2. Again, I don't care. It comes with two grills. I don't care, but maybe you do. Whatever, you know, maybe I'm not the target market for the customizability of these things, because I pretty much, for anything in life, including musical equipment, I don't care as much how it looks. The first thing for me is the functionality, and looks are secondary. Now, if we're comparing 2 guitars that I like similarly or the same, and one I think looks better, then yes, that'll be the deciding factor. Anyway, I don't care about that kind of stuff. As far as other, let's say, negatives, well, I mean, It sounds good, but it doesn't sound great. It's a practice amp, right? It's not made for applications beyond, you know, playing at home and practicing. I will say, so my first ever amp was one of those tiny Marshall half stack amps. I couldn't afford a bigger amp. That was like $50 or $60 at the time. I had that for probably my first 6 months of playing guitar. If I would have had this, I probably would have never upgraded until I did eventually buy a half stack. You know, I was playing in a band, stuff like that. But I mean, I wish I had something like this growing up, because this replaces pretty much everything. You have so many tone options. Like this review, basically, you should really just watch my Spark 40 amp review, because everything I say about the Spark 40 goes for this, except this is smaller. Now, Spark 40, again, it sounds better. It's got a bigger speaker. If you don't need the portability of this and you don't mind the extra expense of the Spark 40, Spark 40 is probably more for you. But honestly, for so many applications, this is so cool. Now, I'm not the kind of guy who travels with a guitar and needs an amp to practice in like a hotel room or when I'm camping. I can see this being useful in many situations beyond just practicing at home. And I didn't mention in the kind of the intro, it does have a line out and headphone jack, so it is a good headphone amp as well. As far as selecting the presets, there's just a button and you can select the 4 presets, or obviously you can use the app and change the sounds there. It's easy to load whatever presets you want onto the amp. So yeah, not too much to say. It's a cool amp. I think, especially for the price. So right now it's like $129. So here's the thing. If say you're a beginner, or you just want to mess with all these sounds that are in the kind of the Positive Grid Spark ecosystem, I don't think you need anything other than this. Like if you're a beginner and you eventually say want to be in a band and all of that, but you're not there yet, or maybe you don't have money, yeah, this is kind of expensive for a tiny little amp, but considering what you get, it's not expensive. Similar thoughts to what I had with the Spark 40 as far as all that type of thing, like everything you have access to. Yeah, this is, I honestly, this is the type of thing, like I feel like Positive Grid should pay me for this review, because my goodness, this is the type of review they pay for. If you see the other, you know, fake reviews, I guess they're not so fake, even if they're biased, because it really is cool. I really like it. I really want to know what you think. What am I missing? Especially think about this from a beginner's perspective, or somebody who lives in a city, in a, you know, apartment building, and, you know, doesn't have space for an amp, or a big amp, doesn't have the use for a big amp. What am I missing about these? You know, I know there's a lot of cool small amps out there. You know, I don't think the other small amps in its class are necessarily bad, and a lot of them are cheaper. And like the Blackstar Fly 3 is it's a decent little amp. But this one, yeah, it's like I think twice the price, but it has so much more that honestly I think it's still worth it for me. I don't even have to think. This is still worth it for me. I mean, you have all of the tone options. You have an audio interface. It replaces so many products. So I have a Focusrite Scarlett Solo. This was, I think, $100 or $110. This was $109 for me. It does basically the same thing. I mean, yeah, this has some more features, a little bit more professional. These aren't necessarily professional grade, but you know, this does have an XLR input if you want to do vocal recording, and obviously this doesn't. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. If you like this video, give it a like, please. Subscribe, of course. Or if you really like this video, leave a super thanks. Yeah, I didn't do much of a sound demo because honestly, if you want to hear what Spark sounds sound like, go watch my Spark 40 review. as far as that, this doesn't sound much different. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit thinner for live sound, but for the audio interface sound, it's going to be the same. I'm done. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. This has been really fun. I didn't think I would get a review out in a day or 2 days, and I thought it was just going to be kind of a first impressions, but really this is my review. If I have some updates in the future, I will share them either in the description of this video, but also in my Rift City newsletter or my Rift City email list. But other than that, Spark Go, if you're looking for a beginner's amp with tons of features, get it.